Hello everybody, Sam Davidson here with MEAWW Worldwide, and I am here with a very special guest, Leah Van Dale, also known of course as Carmella, WWE superstar, and also one of the stars of the 9th season of Total Divas on E! How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I'm so happy to be here.
So this must be a whirlwind for you because we have you here in the studio very soon after the second episode of the season aired, which a lot of drama happened.
So much drama.
What's your social media been like today alone?
You know, I will say I'm so grateful for the amount of support that I've gotten. I didn't know exactly how it would be perceived and what people would think, but I've gotten such an outpour of love and support from the WWE universe and the E audience, and I'm overwhelmed.
So when this all happened, you were getting so much hate on social media, and of course we're talking about your relationship with your now boyfriend, Corey. So I'm sure the tweets have changed. Has anyone kind of came back and been like, well, now that we saw the episode, we're sorry, we didn't mean that when we said that before?
You know, it's crazy because when all this stuff went down, I was reading all of the hate on social media, and one thing I learned is to just, who cares? To just kind of get over it. I mean, I went through a pretty dark time, and then I just learned to just move on from it and not worry about it. So I really was trying not to be so into the social media last night and read everything, but the things that I did read, I did see a couple of people that said, you know, I can't believe I was so quick to judge. I wish I knew the whole story. So that's really nice to hear.
And how about his ex? I mean, I know since then, and I'm sure some of this will play out on the show, but she has kind of backtracked a little bit, and are we going to see that storyline continue, or is it just going to be put to bed?
You'll see Corey and I's relationship develop over the course of Total Divas of this season, so I'm excited for people to really get to know him because he plays, you know, sort of a bad guy on TV. People kind of think he's a jerk, which, I mean, that's his character he plays. So I'm excited for people to see the real Corey and get to know him like I know him.
So you are a full cast member this season, which is so exciting. What do you think you brought to the show this season that was missing before?
I think, I was on season 7 actually, but at the time, you know, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Being on a reality show and being in a relationship, I was so new to the main roster in WWE. So I had so much on my plate, so I felt like I couldn't fully commit to being on a show and putting everything in my life out there. Whereas this time around, I was like, screw it, nothing's off limits. Obviously, my relationship and a really, really dark time in my life, I put out there for the world to see. And I just kind of am unapologetically myself. And whether people like me or hate me, I don't really care. I'm just having fun, and I think bringing something fresh and different to the cast. All of our members do that. You know, we have Sonya Deville, who's the first openly gay woman on the WWE roster, and we have Ronda Rousey this season, which is huge. She's such a badass. So I really love our cast.
Well, so first talking about Ronda, I mean, I was actually so surprised when I saw A, that she was going to be doing wrestling, and B, that she was going to be on the show. What do you think that she has brought to the female WWE community? Is it, you know, people recognizing it more than they did before? Is it getting a new audience?
So I definitely think Ronda's brought something different to the table. Before she came to WWE, we're already in the middle of this women's evolution and taking place with all of these first ever female matches. I am so grateful to go down in history as the first Miss Money in the Bank. We had the first women's Hell in a Cell match, the first all-women Royal Rumble. So we're already kind of on our way, but Ronda coming in brought so many more eyes and so much more attention into the division to the point where this year at WrestleMania, the women were the main event, and that's never happened before. So, you know, I'm so fortunate that Ronda is here, and she's brought so many more eyes to our product, so it's great.
And I'm loving your female, amazing BFF friendship with Sonya on the show. So she was so there for you in the episode last night, and do you guys still have a close relationship and are, you know, there for each other throughout all of these, you know, dramatic moments?
We went through so much on the show, and I think it's funny because people didn't realize that we were such good friends because we've been involved in storylines on WWE television against each other as opponents and being, you know, rivals. So it's funny that people are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea they were such good friends, but we are. We're really good friends in real life, and you know, we've gone through so much together, and I'm so grateful to have a friend in her, and I'm excited for people to see her journey on Total Divas as well.
Yeah, me too. And, you know, she got to be part of the Pride Parade.
Yeah, which was so much fun, by the way. We had a blast at the Pride Parade. I can't wait for people to see that.
And you also have some more drama, though, on the show, Nia. So I mean, watching that as a woman, it's kind of like, whoa, she's been super aggressive to you. Does that continue throughout the season, or do you guys, find a way to work it out in some way?
Well, I'm not going to give everything away, but I will say, everyone goes through things and everyone has a different journey, and, that was, people can say what they want and they say, oh, that was scripted for the show, but that was so real. If you see my facial expression when she told me that I was a fake person and there's nothing genuine about me, I was like, we're being filmed right now. Like, I can't even believe we're saying this in front of the cameras. I was so thrown off by it. I had no idea that she even felt that way about me. So it does play out throughout the season, and so you just have to stay tuned to see what happens.
I want to backtrack a little bit and talk about how you got into this all in the first place, because from the research I've done on you, this doesn't necessarily seem like the path that you always planned to take. So how did this all happen?
So I was a dancer my whole life. I started dancing when I was 3. I cheered in the NFL for the New England Patriots, and I was a Laker girl for a year. But it's funny, a lot of people don't realize my dad was a wrestler in the early 90s. So I grew up watching it, I grew up around it. It wasn't something I ever thought I would do or aspire to do, because I love dance so much. But when my dance career ended, I was kind of like looking for the next step, and I love entertaining, and I love being in front of a camera and just playing a character. So when I found out about the opportunity for WWE, I'm like, this is perfect. With my background in performing and my dad's background with the company in WWE, it just kind of came full circle. And here I am.
I mean, and that's really so cool because the Bella twins, specifically, like, they really have paved the way. Tell me a little bit about, your relationship with them and how you think that they've helped really start this industry.
I love the Bellas so much. My very first feud when I came to SmackDown Live was against Nikki Bella. She returned after having her neck injury, and I played the bad guy in that story, and she really was just so there for me and helped me along the way, and she was so giving to me, and without her I wouldn't be the Carmella that I am today. So I'm so grateful for that. And they've just brought so many more eyes on the product. They have their own spin-off now with Total Bellas, and they're everywhere. Like, you can't go anywhere without saying the Bella twins, and people, oh, of course, I know WWE. The Bellas, sure, I get that. They've brought so many more eyes, and there's such a crossover with that. And now they have their own wine, their own clothing line, they have their own hair products and skin. Like, they're just taking over, and it's really so cool to see women who just started in the WWE and, came and their way up, and look what they're doing now. It's so crazy.
Well, you're well on your way, because speaking of wine, you also just started your own wine label. How did that all come about? And tell me a little bit about it.
So I love wine. I really do. I love unwinding with a glass of wine at the end of the day, maybe a little pizza. So I just thought it would be a great way to bring, the following that I have with trying to show about female empowerment. It's called Capo Cane, which in Italian means boss bitch. And I want anyone who drinks the wine to just feel like a boss bitch and know that, it doesn't matter what you're going through in life, you can unwind and just relax and chill with a glass of wine. So.
I'm so down.
Yeah, if you're bougie on a budget, that's what it's all about. It looks fancy, but it's not expensive.
Well, that's amazing. So where can you get it? Is it just online? Or?
It's available right now online at capocania.com, and we'll be in stores early 2020.
So lastly, about the rest of the season, I mean, we really have just started. So can you tell me a little bit about your journey and what you say you really learned about yourself by the time you finished filming?
By the time I finished filming, I think I touched on it a little bit earlier in the interview, but it's really about knowing who I am and not worrying so much about what other people think, because everyone's going to have an opinion, especially when you're in the public eye. Everyone has their own thoughts on you, and it doesn't matter at the end of the day what those people think. I mean, I know who I am. I have my family, friends. I have a great support system. At the end of the day, I can't apologize for other people's actions. I can only be responsible for myself. So you'll kind of see that play out on the season.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I am a new fan, honestly.
Yay.
I'm so excited to watch the rest of the season. And please make sure to tune into Total Divas, which is on E! on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. And we'll see you next time. Bye.